Cause I'm about that. Cause I'm about that. I'm about that come up, running up on them fools that are talking foolish. Try to get them funds up, killing them mics just like I ran and jewels in. Y'all gonna get done up front and on that kid with an attitude, but you can't really blame this motherfucker. It's doing what he had to do. I'm about that cash flipping, I'm getting it on and off the market. Not about that VIP, not me, not never been a fan of carpets. All about that RIP for all of my Jesus gone departed. All about that finish what I started, I'm about that.
Top down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
Nothing about it, want it, man, I can bring the drama. But it ain't by chance, I'm fucking rapping, you don't really want a problem. Made a little cash in the back end, but still rapping like homie starving. Yeah, y'all gotta act with a man, it's hope I'm gonna be like, take your part and I'm about that.
Top down the night, you're not ready. We ride, about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Down the night, you're not ready. We ride, about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the YSN Power Hour, a Friday edition, and it is free for all Friday. And what that means, boys, is that every topic is on the table. We're going to go around after our initial conversations, and we are going to talk about whatever comes to our mind in the world of sports, and maybe a couple other things will pop up along the way. But before we get started, as we do each and every day, it is National Creamsicle Day. And I don't know if you guys are into the creamsicle, like the orange pop with the cream in the middle. Man, is that one of my favorite treats on a hot summer day. Big fan, and especially after Dairy Queen came out with the Creamsicle Dilly Bar, that's where it's at. Are you guys fans of the Creamsicle? Mike, we'll start with you.
Nah, not really. Leave it at that. I'll go with the Quinn answer. No, not really.
All right, thanks. on to the man on the move, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I'm a big creamsicle guy. Big cherry creamsicle guy. You've got one of those, I eat them all.
You look like a cherry creamsicle today. Coincidence. On to you, Billy Mack, Mr. Loyalty himself.
Yeah, I actually love going to Arby's. They have a orange creamsicle shake.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Super good.
All right. We'll have to try that. On to you, non-Hawaiian Jamie.
Yeah, I tried that creamsicle shake once. It was pretty good. And, I used to be big on them when I was younger, but lately they've kind of just fallen off, but they're still good.
Quinn, I think I know the answer to this one.
Love them. I love those things. Love the creamsicles. The shake is fantastic from Arby's. Fully recommend it.
Fully recommended. And if it's coming from Quinn, it's got to be good because we all know how picky he is. All right, guys, to get this thing started, what I want to talk about is, let's just get this over with. Governor DeWine coming out saying that Tuesday is the day. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Tuesday is going to be the day that is basically one way or the other. He'll make a recommendation or at least talk about it. What are the expectations for you on Tuesday about which way it's going to go? Will there be a decision or will the can continue to be kicked down the road? Michael, we start with you.
I think that it will be a recommendation from DeWine to either shut down or still play. I think that if he does make a recommendation, it is going to be to shut down. But the same thing happened in Pennsylvania. Governor Wolf recommended football, no go. So did the health department. And the WPIAL said, you know what, screw you. We think we can get a season going, and we're going to go ahead and play. Does the OHSAA do the same thing? If there's a recommendation to postpone, I don't know. But I think that we're in the clear. I don't think that we're going to be recommended to cancel or postpone at all. I am not worried too much. I have a little bit of worry, but not too much that we're going to see a postponement or a recommendation to postpone on Tuesday.
Jeff Bezos, your thoughts on what you're going to see and hear from Governor DeWine on Tuesday?
I don't think you're going to hear anything. I think you're just going to strongly recommend something, and then shortly, like I said, a week before the season, I think the week before he's going to shut it down.
So you're saying on Thursday you're going to see the axe. Tuesday is going to be a recommendation, and Thursday, for some reason, 2 days later, something's going to happen or be said or done that Governor DeWine says no mas.
Yep, exactly.
Great explanation, Billy. We're on to you.
I think we're going to be good for probably. I think he's just going to go ahead and bypass it and say, hey, we're good to play. We're good to start with some recommendations and some, hey, be careful. You never know when I might pull it from underneath you. I still think that 2-3 weeks in, I think that's when it's going to be when school really starts back up. So like after Labor Day, I think there's going to be an issue going forward.
Interesting take. Jamie, out in Trumbull County, what do you think?
I'm thinking DeWine's going to come out and, unlike Wolf, I don't think he's really going to just kind of recommend that they don't play it. He's either going to say, don't do it or go ahead and do it. I think DeWine hopefully is just going to be straight out with us, let us know what's going on. And if we're having it, we're going to have the guidelines with the capacities and all that.
All right. And Quinn, your take on this?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a decision, but it's like Jeff said, I think it's going to be a recommendation. There's not going to be a for sure, like 100% yes or no. It's going to be something like go ahead, but these are certain precautions that you need to know and all sorts of stuff like that, where it's kind of just buying more time, but giving an answer at the same time.
I'm actually on the fence on this because, as you saw yesterday, they started out with a doctor who was talking about the heart disease that can come with this and the troubles with the heart for athletes, especially. So when you look at everything from a characterization of Governor DeWine saying, hey, here's this guy. He's going to talk to you about what problems can be down the road for athletes in regards to their ticker. And then at the other side of it, a week later, less than a week later, he's going to say, yeah, you know what? I thought about all the recommendations. But after all of that, let's go. Let's just go ahead and play. I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard for him to go back from what happened, particularly yesterday, and give everybody the green light and go ahead. But I want to stay optimistic, guys. I really do. But I think there's too much to overcome. You look at Ohio State down in Columbus. They're saying that they're not playing football because of that. Columbus City School District shut down extracurricular activities. They're moving on from this. I think Columbus knows something we haven't learned here in Northeast Ohio yet, and I think at some point the kibosh is going to be put on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome a very special guest at this time. One man we're all familiar with, but has yet to be on the show until right now. It is Robert Switka, often heard on the chat rooms and never heard his voice or opinion. Swit, when you look at everything, all the cards are on the table. Tuesday's conference with Governor DeWine, what do you think is going to be said?
In my personal opinion, I think he's going to put limitations on practice. I think practices are going to be really buckled down with protocols, and they're going to just see how it goes. I think that he's just going to wait it out, get a couple practices in, and see how things go. And if it gets ramped up to where there's cases, I think he's going to shut it down very quickly.
Switka is giving us the full Southern experience with the rocking chair and everything. So
absolutely, man. I'm just relaxing.
He's an old man, so.
Thank you, Billy.
We got fighting words across the way. Billy's pretty loyal. Billy's loyal to everybody, so make sure that
one of my favorite people ever, though. So.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks.
When you look at this scenario for schools, guys, I mean, with Pennsylvania basically saying that we're not going to allow it, I think what you're going to see is a lot of transfers to places like Ohio, if they do allow it. From a measuring stick from a school district, do you let these people in? Do you let these transfers in? And again, it goes back to our original conversation a couple days ago that stirred up all this loyalty questions. What do you do to the guys that are already on your team? Let's go with Billy Mack to start this off, I guess.
Are you talking about high school kids?
High school kids. Let's say PA is transferring over to Ohio.
Well, you got to move to Ohio first. That's the rule. So if you live in PA, you can't play in Ohio. So that's just part of a rule. So if you don't live in Ohio, that doesn't matter what this scenario is. You're gonna have to move to the district first.
if they move to the district? Are you okay with them playing?
I mean, yeah. Again, I don't care about loyalty, not to the extent of tie. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. Again, you're not going to break me from this. Coaches coach to win games first.
Interesting. Okay. Mike McKenzie, I'm interested to hear your take as a son of a coach.
Now, if these players move from PA to Ohio just to play football, I don't know if I'm going to bring them in. It depends on, do I need this kid on my team? If he's going to be a D1 athlete, he's an insane guy, you have to have him on your team, yeah, bring him in. But if he's not a must need, let's say you already got a couple quarterbacks you're confident in, and he's another QB you want to play, and he's going to have to fight for that starting time. Plus, you're bringing him in from PA. Who knows if he hasn't tested and he brings in a COVID case from there and then it spreads. I think that's probably going to be an issue. And if you've already got players at that position that you trust to go out and win you football games, don't bring him in. But if he's a guy that you think is going to help your team win a game or two, bring him in. Why not?
I don't think this is really an issue is going to be a thing, because I just don't see many people moving in to.
Yeah, I don't either.
That's a big commitment. You're talking about $100,000 of a commitment to move into a house. That's a big deal for a lot of parents, and especially in this time, in this type of world that we live in right now during COVID, where tons of 16 million people are out without jobs.
Yeah, I'm with Billy Mack on that. No, I don't. I see very little, if any, people moving to Ohio just to play football.
Quinn?
Yeah, I don't see many people moving into Ohio. Like Billy said, it's one of those things that it's not realistic. But if you have the means to do it, then so be it. If you're going to do it, do it. I mean, you can't just come and play football and then leave, though. Like, you're going to have a year of commitment there to where you're in the school for a full year. That's, I think, the only thing that you can do other than move to Ohio. To answer your question, does it matter? Whatever to the other kids, too bad. Suck it up, get better yourself. It's that simple.
Dang! Wow, this is a tough crowd. Jamie, go ahead.
I can tell you from personal experience, being on the border, I've had, teammates come in from Sharon, come in from Farrell, West Middlesex. They do it all the time to come to Hubbard and just play football. So I think along the border here, you could see that happen a lot. But I don't expect anyone to move from Philadelphia to Columbus just to come play sports. But over here on the border, it's going to happen.
And that's kind of where I see it as we move our way to Robert Switka. We're here in East Palestine. There's a pretty doggone good football team right over the border in Beaver Falls and Blackhawk. When you look at that, East Palestine's football team would line up just a little bit different if there were some of those players in brown and white. Robert, are you seeing any of that down where you're at?
In North Carolina, I think that everything's on schedule. I think practices are ramping up, and there isn't much concern. I think we're still in phase 2 though down here. So we have strict protocols and stuff, but I think everything's going as a plan. They're letting schools do their own thing. They're like deciding whether to do online schools or go back in a classroom. But for sports-wise, there's not really a hard decision yet. I think they're just going to see how these upcoming weeks are going to go and then decide from there. It's not like Ohio or PA where it's bouncing back and forth.
So let's say you guys are QB1 on your team, your high school football team, and a new kid rolls into town, and he's pretty doggone good quarterback as well. And coach says, you know what? I made a deal to get him here. We had a conversation. It didn't concern you. He's going to be QB1. As the quarterback, are you okay with that? In a high school setting. This is not college. This is high school. This is the team that maybe you've been the quarterback for the last 5 years or so through middle school and into high school, and you're going into your senior year. Let's start with Jamie Thompson.
It's tough. Find a new position. If someone comes in and they're better than you, just find somewhere else to play. I mean, as tough as it is, and if I was a QB1, I would be pissed personally, but I've had friends that it's happened to, and they've had to find new positions.
Okay. Billy Mack?
I mean, we've been talking about this all week. The best players play, period, end of story. Next.
Quinn?
Same with Billy. Tough luck. It's either going to piss me off to the point where I'm going to get better, or I'm going to be like Jamie, I'm going to go find another spot to play. Being a quarterback, you're one of the more athletic people on the team or whatever. That's kind of what I believe Coach Stressel said back in the 90s, where he had 20-some quarterbacks on his team, but it was because they were the best athletes, smartest players on the field and all that stuff. You're bound to find another spot.
Mike McKenzie.
Play him. I'm playing. If I'm the quarterback, that should light a fire underneath of me. They're going to bring in this kid to be the quarterback one, and they're going to bench me. I got to get in that weight room. I got to get on that field. I got to get better to make sure that I don't ever lose that spot ever again.
Rob.
I would say put me at tight end or put me at D end. But also, if I'm a QB and I got offers on the table, I'd be pissed off. But if I'm like that guy who's like middle of the road where it's like, I'm not going to go anywhere, I definitely would play a different position.
I can get behind that. It would still drive me nuts. I guess it would depend on when that other QB came in, right? If it came in right now, 2 weeks before the season.
He could come in the day before the game.
In what?
He could come in on Thursday and have a game Friday. Period.
And you'd be
He could
okay
come
with
in
it.
Friday at 5 p.m.
Yeah, play at 6:30. I don't care.
If he knows the playbook.
How you gonna look all these kids like? So you're a high school coach, and you're looking at your kids, and you're telling your kids, period, the best guys are gonna play 11. The best 11 guys are gonna play on each side of the ball, and then you say that to your kids and your parents, and then a new guy comes in, and he's clearly the best player on the team. You're not gonna play him just out of spite because he came in late. So you're lying to your own kids to begin with.
Nah,
In my opinion, if he rolls in on Thursday. If he rolls in on Thursday and he knows the playbook and he can go out and call plays knowing exactly what's going to happen, what everybody should do, throw him out there. But if he doesn't know the playbook, he doesn't know what he's calling, no, I'm not going to play him.
Right, as long as he's prepared. I mean,
if he's prepared to play and he knows the playbook, put him on the field. Absolutely.
Come on,
There's
all
no
the
way I could do
terminology
that
is
to a
similar.
senior.
Everything in football is an ISO. It's very simple.
I couldn't do it to a senior. I could not look him in the eye at the end of the year and say to his family that I did the right thing for him. And that's why, I mean...
But that's the thing. Until you coach, this is just going to happen from time to time. When you coach any sport, there's going to be times where you go, you know what, loyalty-wise, this stinks, but we're here to win games. If you're not here to win games, that's a whole different thing. You can be as loyal as you want. You could be a rec ball baseball coach and just play players because of loyalty. If you're here to be competitive and win games, that's a whole different thing.
So let me ask you this. You're there to win games, and I'm with you 100%. You're there to win. That QB1 starts one game, goes down five plays into it. How do you look that other guy that you put him above, or I guess him below, in the face and say, go win us a ball game? You've already put your chips on the table with that guy, correct?
You mean like an injury or something?
Injury or,
next guy up. That's how you preach that.
That's a Jalen Hurts. That's a Jalen Hurts to a Tagovailoa from Alabama situation right there. And he went out and did it. You got to have the fire to go out and prove yourself, and showed that the coach made a mistake. That's what I would do. Just prove him wrong.
I have a hard time thinking that. Again, I mean, I'm loyal. Anybody that knows me.
It's great to be loyal, but if you want to win a lot of games, sometimes you got to step on some toes.
Yeah.
Loyalty doesn't always win games.
No, but you better be careful whose toes you step on, because if that person or that player is connected, and let's say he's got a little brother.
Say every scenario is different.
According to you, it's not. It's all about wins and losses.
And that is.
If I'm the head coach,
for sure. It's about wins and losses.
Now, if I'm the head coach and I got to look that QB that I just sat in the eye and said, "Go win me a ball game," I'm going to say, "Go out there and win this game and prove that I made the wrong decision in benching you. Right. Go out and prove that I was in the wrong to put you on the bench behind this guy." That's what I'm going to tell my.
That's a conversation you're going to have on the football field.
No,
I'll be honest. If I'm a QB out there,
I'm just going to say those couple sentences and throw him out there. If he doesn't have a fire lit underneath of him because of that, then I don't know if I would have trusted him in the first place before this kid.
If I'm a QB1 for 3 years, freshman, sophomore, junior year, then somebody comes in and you put him ahead of me, and I just go, you know what, man? I'm going to go find another place to play.
Good. Bye.
See ya.
Wow. Wow.
Oh wow.
That's
Love it.
I
interesting.
don't know why this is so like wow. Like this happens everywhere. I don't know why
It's
this
the
is
same
a thing.
You could flip it around, DJ. It's the same loyalty. He's not going to be loyal to you then? Fine. Leave.
See, but there's, and I get your point, but I would say like wait a minute, you all the way up through pictures, I'm the QB1, and now you're gonna take the ball out of my hands because some dude moved into town and he's the clear cut quarter. This kid better be freaking Dan Marino. You know what I mean?
So then what happens then if we go fine? Then go ahead, play over him, start the game or whatever, and when you stink, he's going in.
I think loyalty only comes into play if it's a tie.
I think it's the champion's advantage, to be quite honest with you. I think it's WWE style, and until you lose your position, it's yours.
Well, you lose your position by a guy who's more talented than you.
Then you
Well,
better
talent
hook that-
doesn't always win you games.
Hey, I
will
always,
say that.
I always reference the good old classic. Remember the Titans when Sunshine comes in and takes the pastor's position, and they mold as a team, and it all comes down to loyalty, whatnot. But team is more important than loyalty and whatnot. You go out there, you're brothers. You play for each other. You don't play for a coach. You don't play for this. You play for yourself. And you play for the 10 guys else that are on the field as well, and you go out and win the game.
I agree with that. However, there's some loyalty amongst that 11.
There is.
all the
There
ones,
is.
right?
Yep.
There is.
So that's where I think that
Yeah.
if you pull a quarterback that has a great rapport with his center, great rapport with his running backs, his receivers, all the things that you're opening a bigger case of a bigger can of worms than just replacing one player, because there's a ripple effect that you'll feel all the way through that game. And loyalty has a lot to do with camaraderie, building. I mean, that's
Winning changes camaraderie too. So
Winning fixes everything.
And
But
DJ,
you're
I got
already a
one.
good
I got.
team. And you don't say you're already a winning team. Are you going to feel the need to remove your quarterback, even though this guy's a little bit more talented?
you might not in that scenario. That's a whole different scenario, though.
I got one question for the whole group. Okay, tell me in this day and age, from way back then and now, tell me kids don't think that they are given things and they don't work for things nowadays. I feel like kids these days feel like they are handed positions instead of earning. Yeah, entitlement. And that's what happened at Texas. That's why they're so bad since they won our national championship, because there was entitlement, and they had to change 3 coaches now because everything was given to the players. Nobody ever earned anything, and that's what's sad about sports nowadays. Is everything is handed to kids, and they're not competing to the. There might be a few in the bunch, but as a team, you just don't see it anymore.
I can get behind that wholeheartedly.
in what way?
That in this day and age, there is a lot of entitlement that this is my spot. I should be the quarterback. I should be the center. I should be this. I should be that. And then they throw a fit when that doesn't happen, and they don't want to put the work behind it.
To a degree, I think there's still some old school players out there.
I think that's less than 20%.
See, I don't. So basically, you're calling out 80% of your baseball team, then, Mac?
With Youngstown Astros?
Yep, or the Ursuline Irish, or any team you represent. You're saying that 80% of your guys are entitled.
They have a lot of entitlement at times, sure.
And I don't mean to put you on the hot seat, but that's a high number.
I mean, I've coached enough high school baseball and football around the area to know that I've been in places where there's a lot of entitlement. They think that they deserve it, and then their parents go to the board and they go to the head coaches and say, "My kid is this." I've been there. I've done it.
Jamie, how do you feel about entitlement in sports nowadays in high school?
I mean, I can kind of agree with Billy. I don't think it's 80%, that feel that they are earned or owed this spot, but there is a lot of entitlement that kind of goes around, and those types of people aren't good teammates and effectively makes your team worse. So like when I kind of asked about the quarterback, if he's just a little bit more talented, you're going to put him in. For me, I had a quarterback and I loved him. He was the best quarterback that I ever played with, so we rolled with him. Another guy came in, he wasn't as good, but they put him out there because he was new. And then eventually we got back to our quarterback. So I think there's just a lot of people that come in and think they're owed something, and that really pisses me off. because I've been in a spot where I've had a spot. We brought someone in, and then they come in, they try and take my spot, they give it to them, and they stop, and then lose the game. And that's just,
Now, I'm going to say this. If you have this kid that rolls in, let's say today, his first day of practice is what, Saturday or Monday? Whoever goes onto that practice field and earns that starting spot, in my mind, is going to go out and get it. I don't care if this kid's more talented than the other. Whoever's going to earn it on the field is going to be the one I throw out on the field August 28th. That's how I see it.
Quinn, which side are you on here?
In regards to what, the entitlement thing?
Entitlement.
I mean, there's always going to be entitlement in sports. I mean, even if you just break it down into upcoming seniors, seniors are the definition of entitlement because they've been there for 4 years. They assume, hey, I should start from a senior. I mean, you don't want to say it. You don't want to be like that. And I'm not going to give you a percentage or anything because I don't want to be put on the hot seat either. But there's definitely entitlement in sports. I definitely agree with that. It doesn't create a good atmosphere when you're trying to build that team.
What creates the culture of your team, I guess, is because you talk about, some of this entitlement. I think that's part of the culture in some scenarios. What creates the culture? Is it winning? Is it losing? Is it both? Is it, the togetherness? Is it loyalty? Is it the talent? What do you feel is the number one piece of culture on teams nowadays, given that the social media is out there and things of that nature? We'll go back to you, Mike.
I think that it's in some aspect whoever you throw onto the field. If you're going 4-6, 5-5, and you're just throwing out your seniors and juniors because of seniority, then that kind of creates a culture of, I'll wait a couple of years for my turn when I'm a junior to go out on that field. If you're throwing out the best player on the field, whether that's a freshman or a senior, and you're winning ball games, and that's going to create a culture of working hard and trying to earn your spot because you know that whether you're an incoming freshman or a senior who's had a starting spot for 4 years, you still got to go out onto that field and you got to earn your spot.
If you're losing, though, and you've got a freshman or a sophomore in a spot,
then change things up.
What if it's not their fault?
If it's not the freshman or sophomore's fault, I'm going to look at why are we losing games and then see how we can move forward, how we can change that to win games. If we have to throw out a different player on the field, so be it.
So it's all about wins and losses.
It's all about performance. It's all about wins and losses. And I think that kind of starts in some aspect with who you throw onto the field and what result you're getting.
Quinn Pushkar, back to you.
So to answer your basic question of what builds that culture, it's a mixture of everything you just named. Speaking on basketball, because I'm a basketball coach and I've been around it. And I like to think down at Lisbon, like Coach Huxell and myself, we build a very good culture down there with everybody and what we do. But it's the driving force is obviously winning. Winning fixes all problems. From there, though, it's not only winning, losing, all that stuff. It's the players coming together themselves. Like coaches can do so much to build it, but it's the players that are the team. They're the ones that make the culture. They're the ones that kind of hold each other responsible and accountable and all that stuff. So it's more or less the team themselves that build that character and culture that they want to be a part of, and then you just kind of push forward through everything.
Do you feel that winning solves all problems or winning masks all problems? We'll go to Swit real quick.
I believe losing leads to winning, if that makes sense. Because it teaches you how to win. And I think it's a bond between a coach and a player because, like, for example, for a baseball reference, if a guy misses a fly ball or reads a fly ball, right, and he comes in and, shows no shit on his shoulders and stuff, and the coach ignores him, right? How does that player get better the next time it happens? As a coach, you got to go up to the kid, maybe show a little bit of constructive criticism, a little pat back, saying, hey, this is what you need to do next time. Show that you care. And then I would lead to them not making a mistake twice or learn from it to win the next play.
I heard the majority of that. We're going to work. It sounds like you're in a fishbowl, so we're going to try to work on that audio here during the break. Billy, you've talked about winning is everything. How does a culture? How do you create a nice culture, and what's the ingredient?
I think it's top down. For sure, leads with the head coach. In a perfect world, I think the head coach is responsible for most of the culture and the standards that it provides. I think it's up to the assistants to a really good head coach is going to allow his assistants to teach. And then the head coach is the disciplinarian and kind of the one that sets the tone to everyday practice, to whether it's schoolwork, to whether it's, hustle plays or anything like that. I think it's top down. I think that's where it starts.
So is it winning and losing, or is it the
culture? That builds winning and losing. If you can execute those things. I mean, winning and losing comes down to execution, period. Can you get your players to execute the X's and O's?
There's a lot that goes into it too, though. I mean,
right, there is. But
you said it, DJ, you said it perfectly. I mean, winning does mask a lot of problems.
It masks, and that's what I hate. And
it's not only mask, though. It's not just mask, though.
No, absolutely, Bill, you're 100% right, Billy. But it masks it to start, and it hides a lot of the problems from the outside perspective. So to like the five of us, winning makes it look like we solved our problems, but us coaches on the inside know that those problems are still there.
Yeah, that once the losing or a loss happens or occurs, the tape is going to be ripped off and it's going to fall apart at the seams again. It's going to be shown.
Like trends, like, hey, we haven't been doing this well, but we've been managing to win games because of X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's what talent does. Talent gets you through some of those tough patches that you're going through.
Absolutely.
However, it's loyalty to one another, loyalty to your players, loyalty to your coaching staff, to each other, that gets you to stay together or reconvene.
You're never going to convince me on the loyalty thing. In high school, we played on a team that we hated each other. There was no loyalty between each other, and we were able to go out there and execute a game plan, period. So maybe you were to our coach and the mentality of it, but not.
So did you win the ultimate? Do you want a
no,
state
I mean,
championship?
we didn't win the state championship game. Only a couple of schools do that every year, as you know. So
right, I'm behind that. But the ultimate goal for everybody is more wins than losses, right?
Yeah, we won more games than lost.
Okay, so then at some point when you guys lost that last game, what happened?
We went our separate ways.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. For me, it's as much as I love sports. I had a thing yesterday where I was walking through where I used to play baseball in the park, and I stopped behind home plate for a moment, and I just thought about all the things. And I know there was a lot of nostalgia going on yesterday, but I thought about all the things that sports has taught me that I miss about suiting up in the catcher's gear, the friendships that you had, the enemies that you had on the other side, in the other dugout. But the thing that I was most proud of was the loyalty to my guys, right? And in this day and age of open enrollment, there's not a whole lot of loyalty left where you look around. There's opportunities to go where the grass is greener, or at least it appears to be greener. And that's happening because you as a parent have to put your son, daughter in a best situation for what they want to do when they grow up and their future. The problem is there's not a whole lot of people anymore that say, guess what? We live within these four walls. This is where you're going to school because this is where we pay our taxes, da-da-da-da-da. And you're going to fight through it. You're going to fight through the adversity. There's some parents that don't want their kids to battle the adversity that they had to go through anymore. And I think that's a lost art is going through it. You guys talk about, entitlement. I think there's a difference between being entitled and not having to battle through adversity. Would you agree with that, Jamie?
I can, yeah, I do. I mean, there's some people that they know people, they have connections, so they are entitled, and then there's people that leave to go to different schools because they don't want to fight for a position because they don't think they're going to have a fair shot. Stick it out and see what happens.
Do you think some of this goes back to super teams? I hate to say it, but do you think some of it goes back to what kids see on television, what they see in the national news, and looking at LeBron James going down to Miami? And I don't want to just point at LeBron. There's a million of these now that you can look at, but you look at it. Well, I mean, I think it started before that, but you look at it and you go, okay, that's the big one, right? That's the big fish on the table. Is you look at it and you say, okay, if I'm hanging out, because there's not a whole lot of loyalty to teams anymore, but there's loyalty to friends. I want to go play with this guy. I want to go play with this guy. So every attempt is made to move schools so you can build a super team to go dominate the world. Do you think that this is a trend?
Go win. I think that's the key. Is that statement is they build these super teams to go win. They don't go build super teams to have fun and be loyal to each other. They're already loyal to each other. They want to build super teams to go win games.
And how many times have they won? I guess is my question, because you hear about them, and I, to my knowledge, I haven't seen one win a state championship or win a whatever championship they're in. Have you?
I've seen super teams win it, yeah, but it's a different kind of super team, I guess.
Like locally, how many? I mean, and it's hard to define a super team, given that sometimes you don't have the best players.
I mean, open enrollment, just period, end of story. I mean, there's kids who makes decisions on, hey, I know this kid over here is going to X high school and he's really good. I can complement or, be the missing link to that team and choose to go there just for that reason.
So I guess here's the better question to.
You still got to play the game. I mean, at the end of the day, you always got to play the game. So you may not win the state championship, but you're going to have a pretty successful year going in those.
Would you want to be on the super team, or would you rather be on the team that beats the super team? Mike, we'll start with you.
I'd rather be on the team that beats the super team because, it's always fun to play that underdog role and then come out on top.
All right, Quinn?
Are you guaranteeing me that I beat that super team?
No, there's no guarantee in
Then
anything.
I want to be on the super team.
Okay.
I want to win.
Billy Mack?
I don't care about beating.
Same. Let me piggyback.
Jamie?
I'm done with Mike. I'm going to stick it out and just try and beat the hell out of the super team. I would never have even thought of leaving Hubbard. They're my brothers. I'd never want to leave them even to go win. I want to win with the guys that I know.
Boom. That is the statement that I've been waiting for. I want to win with my guys. So that we'll take a quick break.
I would leave my team and go beat my brother. I don't care.
Well, you're a scumbag, so that's you and Jeff can hold hands and go hang out in the super teams together. That's a scumbag
not
move.
3, not 4, not 5, not 6.
Only 2.
Oh, yeah.
If you're playing
Remember
my
that.
team, it's not 1 because I hate super teams and I'm gonna go against and put you're gonna be circled on the calendar and we're coming at you with everything we got. So
Can't wait.
Can't wait. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be back with Free For All Friday on the Power Hour. Happy Friday to you, and happy Friday to all of our sponsors involved that make things possible right here on the YSN Power Hour.
Hey, my Ohio friends, it's Mike Ditka, and I know great talent and heart when I see it. I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are average real estate agents, then there are true champions. Kelly Warren is one of those champions, and you have her right there in your own backyard. Kelly outmarkets and outsells every agent in the Mahoning Valley. If Kelly can't sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, Kelly will buy it. Get your home sold. Call Kelly Warren today at 717-2689 or go online to kellysoda.com and start packing.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. A small party here today for us, boys. I appreciate your time here, and so does the work as we're talking Free for All Friday. Is there anything out there that's really creeping up on your minds right now? Mike, we'll start with you.
There's no real topic that's going to lead to kind of like an argument. I just wanted to give a shout out to, I'm wearing the jersey, Phoenix Suns. They gave up a really good fight, couldn't get to the playoffs, but they had a really good performance in the bubble. Just wanted to say that.
What about you? Anything on your mind? Uh-oh. Quinn. He's gone. All right, Billy Mack. Bye-bye. What's on your mind today?
I'm just trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do for my fall Saturdays. I have no idea. I'm trying to pick up golf. I stink. Michael's supposed to teach me how to be better, and he refuses to do so. So I'm gonna have to just come find Michael.
What did you do today at the Lake Club?
What did I what?
What'd you shoot today at the Lake Club?
50.
I don't even know if that's good or not. I'll be honest with you. That
36 is par.
I mean, 50 is not terrible. You can work from 50. You can always work.
Everything is just to the right. I got that baseball thing going on. I can't figure it out.
Wow. When I used to snap hook or slice everything, I would turn my club head kind of in to try and fix that.
This is why I need you in my life. I need help.
Jamie, what's on your mind today?
I'm trying to win out here, okay?
On my mind, I heard someone was talking about NASCAR when I jumped in here. Excited for the Daytona road course. Very excited for that. Kevin Harvick's got the pole, so want to see what happens there. Probably going to throw a little bit of money around on that race. But
look at you.
I have a very long list of wagers that I've made, and it's not a problem. It's but I don't always win. I mean, it's fun. It's fun.
What you've ever made?
What?
What's the worst that you've ever made?
I mean, I can tell you the most money I've lost was on Ronda Rousey when she got knocked out for the second time in a row.
We need to hang out more if you like to just have fun with betting.
I haven't always had the funds to do it, but I throw it around like I do.
Keep in mind, he's got no loyalty, Jamie, so you might end up in a river somewhere if those guys come after you.
That is true.
Bill, back that you ever. Can you guys hear me? Do I have a bad connection here? What's going on?
I think
I can understand what you're saying. I can understand.
Okay, what's the worst bet you've ever made, Billy Mack?
I'm not going to tell you what team I was on, but we had bet over-under on hits allowed when I was coaching, and I bet the under because I thought our pitching staff was going to do a really good job. We gave up like 19 hits that game.
Ouch.
So it was a tough day.
Quinn, was there a time that you made a rough bet and regretted it?
He's just frozen.
like he's a statue.
You and Quinn are having a hard time over there in my school.
Hang on. Come back in. There you go. Go ahead, Quinn. Quinn, I can see you.
I can't hear you.
Stream City's having a hard time today.
Come back to me.
We got the three guys off location, the only ones that are actually getting.
Can you guys hear me? Am I audible here?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
It comes and goes.
It's where it's cutting out, but I can understand what you're saying. There he goes again.
We're getting booted on.
Just put him in the same frame as you.
And from the studio. No, it's definitely not. We're not. It would be bad. That'd be.
Take a break and come back.
I don't think that helps at all because it's all originating from my computer. So I don't know what the hell's going on right now. This is insanity. I think it's Comcast because I'm looking up and it's yellow. So that's probably not good.
You're good right now.
Well, I mean,
there it is.
I had to say you're good.
Like sitting in a video game chat party, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's insanity. I mean, Michael's not old enough to bet, or I'd ask him. I mean, did you guys see what came out today about Baker Mayfield and how everything was chaotic for him? So that we're leaning on that again. Did you see that ESPN report?
I did not.
I hate everything that ESPN reports about the Browns. So
why?
And I hate every time Baker Mayfield talks. To be fair, too.
I agreed. So here's the title. Baker Mayfield says, "I lost myself in Browns chaos last season." So
I just need Baker. Baker, shut the hell up and play football.
I can get
it also looks like he has. It also looks like he has.
Here's what it means. Here's an excuse for why we sucked.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is.
Because of our coaching staff. We had no discipline.
No, excuse. Chaos was an excuse.
Sorry.
Yes, I'm not going to argue the coaching was terrible. The coaching was terrible.
I agree with you.
But that was an excuse from Baker Mayfield. That was an excuse.
Yeah, he should
no way around.
I stomp, period. Move on. Let's go. Next year. Yeah. That's all you should say.
I agree. He should own up.
I'm buying the fact that I shouldn't talk about the Browns. And I should take my own advice like I gave Baker. So that's where I'm going to be at right now.
Let's try this again. Quinn, can you hear me?
I mean, I can hear you because I'm sitting next to you, but.
Okay, what is the worst bet you've ever had?
Worst bet I've ever had?
You just said you could hear me.
I bet on Kentucky basketball before, and that didn't work out too well. So that would probably be my worst bet.
Okay.
I've got a terrible bet my dad made.
Okay.
I think he put, I forget how much, he put it on the on Oklahoma for that Alabama-Oklahoma playoff game, and then Alabama, of course, blew Oklahoma out of the water, and they beat him with the line.
Here's a question for you, since both of one of them's my team and one of them's not. Would you rather put money on the Pirates or the Browns to win a championship?
Ooh. The Pirates have zero chance, so the Browns. They don't have much more of a chance, but it's not zero.
Yeah, I agree. I'd have to go.
I don't think
the Cardinals
are we saying
they're already down 5 and 8.5 games behind?
Yeah. The question is, are we saying within the next 3 to 5 years or this year?
No,
this year.
It doesn't matter if it's 3.5 or not.
I don't think it matters the time frame. I'd still probably put money on the Browns.
Yeah, football's a lot different too, though.
I think I'd go Pirates. I don't know why. I don't even
have
to
bet this year. DJ, what do you want to bet? I'll bet you on that one.
Very year, Cleveland. If we're talking within the next 5 years, biased, I'm putting money on the Pirates.
I'll bet
I think we all lose. For the record,
within 5 years, neither of them are winning a championship. Let's get that out of the way. Neither of them are winning.
I think it's a push. I don't think either is winning it. But I
within the next 10.
I just don't think that, like, Cleveland. You're talking about culture. Well, they were winning culture that the Pirates do, but they're closer than I mean, and they're really as bad as they are. They're only a few pieces away from being a decent team again. Whereas I feel like the Browns have an all-star team and they still can't win. Am I wrong?
I can agree with that.
You're right, but I say the Pirates. It's you can just point to pitching, but it's a lot on the pitching. You need multiple good starters that are going to be consistent. You need literally a complete tear-down rebuild of that bullpen, maybe minus Keone Kela. And Sam Howard.
I just don't see it. Just for the simple fact that the Indians have the best pitching staff in the country, or in Major League Baseball right now, and they stink. So,
I mean, a lot of it comes down to offense right now. I mean, you could say what you want about pitching, but you can be able to score runs.
Yeah.
Games 0. So I don't know. I mean, I thought that I would put money on either one, but if I was betting, I'd probably go Pirates just because I'd feel better knowing that that's my team. I guess that's the only way.
I know the Tigers and Reds are probably terrible.
Whoa.
I know the Pirates. And
go ahead, Mike.
I think that batting wise, until the Tiger series, they suck. But they put up, I believe it was 13, 6 twice, and they put up 9 last night. So they can keep that going.
DJ, will you read that quote you read the other day to Michael
What's that?
about the Pirates being five games back in last place when the team in front of them?
They're 4.5 games back on a team that's only played 5 games.
Okay. Next.
Yeah, it hurts. It stings. It hurt very bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's probably teams in the Mahoning Valley AA League that could compete with the Pirates, and that is tongue in cheek, but there's some truth to that. When I saw was it Rodriguez throw that pitch that was about 3 feet away from the third base dugout, I thought to myself, what the hell do we have going on here? Like, you're a professional. You're getting paid thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to pitch. I don't care where you started in the farm system. And to add on to that, this is how bad it is.
Can I start out?
There's an article out there today, I think it's DK on Pittsburgh Sports, saying that there is a load of pitchers saying that it's their time to shine on the Pirates. That's scary as hell. If you're a Pirate fan, that's terrifying. I know you have 11 pitchers on the injured list, but come on, man. Like, they're just gonna start taking dudes like out of grocery stores, that have good arms for throwing cans into, and like it's so bad. There's opportunity everywhere for players right now to be part of the worst team that's ever assembled on a baseball field, and they are my favorite team in the world.
I've said for years, I just don't think the Pirates ownership wants to be good. Very similar to like the Browns. They don't care to be good.
You can't argue with the ownership when they go out and get OJ and they have Baker Mayfield and they get like all the trades that they made add up to they want to win.
I didn't hear
Look at the Pirates.
No, he said with the moves that the Browns made over the offseason, last couple of years, getting Odell, Jarvis, all those guys on all the moves that they made, if that wasn't to win, then I don't know what is.
Oh, okay. So the last 2 years is good, but like since '88, I'm right. Since 1988, I've been good up until the last 2 years. Okay.
What about your draft picks?
Yeah.
I mean, your draft picks, you can't blame on anybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not ownership.
That's 99.9 and to infinity. I blame the Browns ownership and the staff there.
How do you blame ownership on getting the first round draft pick? And
a lot of times, how about let's draft Johnny Manziel because we want him. We think he'll be a spark plug. Let's draft
he did not win a Heisman.
A lot of that is on there. They want that. They want those because they sell jerseys. They bring revenue. They bring ticket sales.
But here's the thing, Mac. I feel like you jump on board with that because you like that stuff.
Because they sell it to me, and I buy it because I'm a stupid Browns fan.
See, that's what I'm saying. I just like you're saying that. And I'm like, wait a minute. I got a weird feeling that Mac's the first guy at Dick's waiting to buy a Johnny Manziel jersey.
I mean, it might have been 6 hours, and I bought a Johnny Manziel jersey. What am I supposed to do? Go root for the Steelers? No.
How are you gonna bitch about it though? Like they're not making any decisions that you wouldn't have made.
Complain and whine about it.
Who without being Monday morning quarterback, and I don't know how that's possible, who would have you have drafted over Johnny Manziel? At that point,
was that the Wentz draft?
Wentz was
another one.
Even if it was the Wentz draft, which I am 99% sure it was not, Wentz was the second overall pick.
It was. Listen, Carson Wentz was the Browns' pick. They traded.
Yeah, we traded that year. Was it that year? We traded that pick?
No, it wasn't that year.
What draft?
That was like 2012.
Well, I'm gonna look this up.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
While we look that up, let's go to our G Burbick Farms because we got a hard out because FCP is creeping up on us in 5 minutes, and that is the People's Championship.
By the way, Manziel was drafted in 2014. I believe Wentz was in 2015 or 16. So
let's go to our G Burbick Farms. What's your beef, Michael? We'll start with you.
I really don't have too many beefs. I've had a good couple of days. I've come to peace with football in the spring, even if it doesn't happen. But there have been some plans outlined by Ryan Day that I like. If we go with that, I'm at peace with spring football. But If they don't postpone the NFL draft, then I'm going to be very angry about that because nobody's going to play.
Non-Hawaiian Jamie.
Right here. That's my beef. Dude, that's all I have to say.
I mean, they beat you twice.
Congratulations. Beat us twice last year on literally our worst year in the last 50 years. You could probably go back.
Let's go to Quinn for his beef today. You got a couple?
Yeah, I got two. I agree with Jamie. I hate Duke because Duke sucks. And no, Duke, I hate Duke.
Go ahead.
The main,
by Duke.
yeah, the main beef today is the delusion of everybody in the NBA that thinks the Blazers can beat the Lakers.
Wow. Okay.
With that too.
Max Baseball Academy. Hit it up.
I mean, the Blazers.
I have a suggestion. I'm gonna leave with this. I think because there's probably going to be no NCAA football, first off, they need to bring back the NCAA football game and let us enjoy that
here
at your level. But the thing I have the beef with today is my driver. My driver game is so bad and I stink, and I still blame Michael because he won't teach me how to hit a driver.
You're asking me to teach you how to hit a driver.
You're golf guy in here.
10 times worse.
Pro in here.
Jamie's
How do we know
golf
Michael
pro.
can even play golf?
Jamie's 10 times better at golfing than me. I'd put money on that.
Well, I don't know about that, Mike. I don't know. I have my days.
Jamie, I know about that.
And I have really
I
bad.
know about that.
Michael speaks in an Australian accent during our week golf tournaments here, and it's hilarious. So that's about as good as golf as we're getting from Mike McKenzie. Not to knock on his golf game, because he is part of that golf team, which, by the way, congratulations to your coach on his 100th victory. That was huge. And, Michael, you're a part of that. So hats off to you, young man. My beef is with I bitched at Wi-Fi yesterday, and I feel like karma came back to bite me today. I'm hardlined in. I don't understand how, it doesn't make sense. So my beef now goes straight to you, Comcast. So unfortunately, we would love to have you as a sponsor, but if I can't get my damn show on the air, there's nothing to sponsor. So congratulations to you for setting up my show from YSN World Headquarters in Stream City, USA, East Palestine, Ohio. You're my beef today, and that beef brought to you by G. Burbick Farms. Visit them on the web at gburbickfarms.com. I'll have some G. Burbick Farms gear coming up probably next week, so I'm excited about that. Make sure if you're throwing a steak on the Barbie this week that you hit up my boy Greg over at G. Burbick Farms. Guys, any last thoughts before we turn it over to Coach Jeff and Brian and Full Court Press?
Give me NCAA football.
Dynamite drop in. Guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you all Monday.